Good morning from the desert. Hope you're ready for some quality and abundant 49ers coverage after the team clinched the NFC West here against the Cardinals. And right now, I think that the majority of the discussion surrounds the MVP race. I think some of the media is even trying to insert Lamar Jackson's name in there ahead of the showdown against Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, and the 49ers next week. But obviously the front runner is Brock Purdy, and Christian McCaffrey deserves some serious consideration as well for what he's doing. I just want to put a little bit of perspective on the MVP race and, you know, maybe look at some precedent for Christian McCaffrey potentially winning this year. Maybe even Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey sharing a co-MVP. Yes, there has been a co-MVP before. Twice, in fact, there's been a co-MVP. You go back to 1997, Brett Favre, a quarterback, and Barry Sanders, a running back, split the MVP vote, and they were co-MVPs. A few years later, you had Peyton Manning and Steve McNair, two quarterbacks, co-MVPs. Now, quarterbacks have won this award outright, just one quarterback in each of the past 10 seasons. So it has evolved into a QB award just because of the nature of the league, right? Quarterback is the most important position, so that's the way that MVP truly goes. But before then, you saw running backs win actually fairly frequently. I mentioned Barry Sanders in 1997, Marshall Faulk in 2000, Sean Alexander in 2005, LaDainian Tomlinson in 2006, and Adrian Peterson in 2012. The type of numbers Christian McCaffrey is putting up right now, since he's going to win the NFL rushing title, and he's also going to add at least 500 receiving yards on top of that, probably a little bit more, his numbers would be comparable to Marshall Faulk's numbers in 2000. And that, every single time I study this 49ers team and what they're doing and try to put it into historical perspective, I come back to the greatest show on turf, Rams. And to me, that, you know, that's the most interesting case study here for sure, because the greatest show on turf, Rams, had Kurt Warner win the MVP in 1999. Marshall Faulk, their running back, won the MVP in 2000, as I said, with numbers that are really similar to Christian McCaffrey's. And Kurt Warner, the QB, won it again in 2001. The only year in which Warner didn't win it out of that 3-year stretch was 2000, and he missed a few games due to injury. So that's why Brock Purdy's your odds-on favorite, just because he hasn't missed any time due to injury yet at this point, right? And he's delivering historic numbers in his own right. So both Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey are making history, and that's why you have the Spider-Man meme in the 49ers locker room. Both of them are wearing Spider-Man gear. They're arguing about the MVP, and they're pointing at each other. You're the MVP. No, you're the MVP. That actually happened yesterday amongst the 49ers, Purdy and McCaffrey. So to begin our coverage here in the desert, here in Tempe, we will say this: the 49ers have a very good problem on their hands. When you're arguing about who the MVP is, and then when Christian McCaffrey also says that Trent Williams is the MVP, maybe the whole damn team is the MVP. Maybe that's why they're so good. Maybe this is why we're in the good old days of 49ers coverage, because this team is stacked, and I'll venture to say it's one of the most stacked in NFL history. So I'll cover it closely today. We'll talk to you throughout this entire glorious day in the desert.